Certainly looks like a nice job of renovating what was pretty much just a dumpy mobile home when you got it.
Oh yeah.
So these are all illegal grow operations.
Yeah.
Is some of that from the Mexican cartels?
Mexican and the Chinese cartels. They were good people.
Ken's all, didn't you find anything under the tree? Wasn't there anything under there? I'm going, no, there's nothing there. I put a ring under the tree.
Instead of just wasting the water going out to the septic or going into the sewers like you're in the city, we reuse all the water.
That corner's got to go over there, Rudd. Almost done with this section, but there'll be more later.
Over here, we have a gun range. We do this for veterans with PTSD or depression or just bored. If we don't ask any questions. Don't ever buy these cabinets. So it's basically new floor, new walls, new ceiling, new outside. What are you doing? Are you on crack?
In a desolate portion of the Mojave Desert, beneath skies that sometimes have odd cloud forms, possibly due to activities at a nearby military base, I was told, I headed along a lonely dirt road known by few and traveled by fewer to do an interview with one of the colorful locals in the region. While driving, I was starting to wonder who would live in a scorching, hot, and remote place like this. I was getting an idea that whoever I was about to meet had a good sense of humor, judging by the signs alongside the road. Signs, signs, everywhere signs. I got the feeling this was going to be quite an intriguing encounter. I take it these people do have an interesting sense of humor. Welcome to the ranch. Rockhopper here, and I am with Ken and Deborah out in the Mojave Desert of California, and they're going to show us a mobile home they've completely renovated. It's off-grid. Also, Deborah's going to show us the greenhouse, and we're going to check out the cantina as well. Stick around, it's going to be fun.
Welcome to the front porch. If you need any work done around the Mojave Desert, see me and I'll give you this guy Manuel's number. He's awesome, he does good work, and he's cheap, he's local. So this is the only thing we didn't do was this front porch area because I don't know how to build something like this. But inside, the dog will get out of the way. This is our Labradoodle dog. This is our living room, and we have electricity because we have solar power from God. It's free. My wife wanted a walk-in pantry, so I built this whole pantry for her. And then her son came and said, "Well, this isn't done right." He tore it all down and redid it. She did this fancy little freaking shelf. That was a pain. Had to glue these on. I built all these shelves. And then we have, you know, of course, the lights and everything. But it's nice for all the food. She also wanted a walk-in closet in the bedroom. This is the girly stuff. Like this is just stuff. But she likes this kind of stuff. Obviously, she likes plants. She has a plant problem, but we don't talk about it. But this is her furniture from her old house. Most of the stuff, these are old chairs. That's an old steam trunk from her grandmother.
Here, let me just show this steam trunk for just a sec.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
It's just an old, it's got old pictures and stuff in it. So, this is a husky I built. And this is actually a table I built out of this is one of the coffee tables. So you can tell I'm not a craftsman. But this wood is from the floor of a semi-trailer. It's 1.5 inch oak. It's heavy-duty oak because the forklifts have to drive across it. So my buddy has said, "Save me some of that wood." And so I made that, and I made this island. And this is the thing I most like. My friends say, "You should sell these." I'm like, it's months of work. So this is the oak panels, the panel depth. And there's down here, and then this is just 2x4s that I painted. Put some rack from Home Depot on there. And Deborah wanted the holes. That's why it still has the screw holes and knots and everything. She wanted to keep it all. And you can't have a regular size island in this little kitchen, so I had to fit it so it fits in here. She wanted this farmer sink, so that was a pain. She wanted the butcher block. The sink wasn't a pain. It was because it comes in a sheet like this, right? And you got to cut it to fit this, and you get one shot. If I screwed this up, this thing was like $150 for this sheet of butcher block. So it's got to fit in there, and it's got to be strong enough. I had to learn plumbing and solar and everything. But and the cabinets she bought, place made in America in Alabama. They came on there. But she got to put them together. That's butcher block, butcher block. And she did this. It's called German decoupage or something. That's not the right word, but I forget. She'll know what that's called. This is her stove. She loves this. This O'Keefe and Merritt stove that we had to convert to propane because it's obviously natural gas in your house. So you just you get this kit, and then some guy had to come out and change something on there. But it runs off propane now, which is nice.
Do you know how old this stove is?
I think it's in the, I want to say early 60s. Deborah would know that too.
Right.
Because she's had it. It was in storage for years, and we finally took 3 of us to get it up here, and then we had problems with it. I was like, I'll just buy you a new stove. No! New stoves are horrible, and they're electric or whatever. But still, it's a clock. There's a clock on there.
Oh, that's kind of
not
cool.
even-
The old
not even
clock.
hooked up. Yeah.
Yeah, let me check that out. That
Yeah.
old clock.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it's got the griddle, which she never uses. Comes up here. There, it works pretty good. So little by little, yeah. So the ceiling is all beadboard. Manny and his son did that too, because like that would be almost impossible for us to try and hold up and get it lined up. We did all the molding, all the accent, the trim. That was fun. And so in a mobile home, this is a double wide. So there's two parts. So this is a single wide and a single wide, and they put it together so you have a marriage line, they call it, which is exposed. So I didn't want that big line, so I made this fake beam, and it doesn't sit totally right, so everything's square. It's the only thing we kept original. Even this isn't really original. But the whole thing, the floor, we did the floor, that was a nightmare. This had really ugly plastic, like rough. It was all faded and gross. So we put all glass in all these, but this counter is the only thing. This and the one bathroom is the same. And so the ceiling, the floor, this is a nightmare. Don't ever buy these freaking LBB flooring. You gotta knock them together. Oh my god, it's a pain.
This is that petroleum flooring, as I call it, right? It's not real wood. It's just that.
Yeah, it's like a composite. We didn't change much of that except the mirrors and stuff. But this is the original counter.
Okay, so you did keep a couple of the original counters.
Yeah, yeah. And the toilet's all new. The shower is original. But the old counters was ugly. It looked like that in the kitchen. It was like an L shape, and I'm using that in the cantina now. So we save everything. This is where the hot water heater was.
Okay.
So this whole closet is so like, well, I don't want to waste it. So we made a linen closet out of it. And do that pretty easy. Just put in some shelves. Some of the siding we used on the beadboard. And so these walls are all same. Bedroom. So this is all new. This is all her antique stuff. It's pretty cool. It's not worth anything, but she likes all this little stuff.
You guys did a nice job of renovating the bedroom here.
All the windows, it comes with really cheap windows. So these are all double pane, high E glass or low E. I forget which one it is. Cabinet. And bathroom was fun. She wanted a walk-in. Don't ever buy these, to be honest with you. But she wanted this glass shower. So this is all torn up, right? They had a the bathtub was here. And the toilet was over here. We had to switch all the plumbing underneath on the floor and to put in a new floor.
Why is that type of shower such a pain, would you say?
Because I'm just afraid I'm either going to fall or bang in and break this glass. And it's probably $100 glass, you know. Plus the water comes out. You know, you got to put towels or something down. Water comes out when you're taking a shower. Unless you never move or something. But this whole thing.
Yeah, don't be dancing in the shower then.
Yeah, don't be dancing. Well, I like to get my dance on. Yeah, this on the backsplash and everything. We bought the cabinets, obviously. Oh, and then she wanted a walk-in closet. So this was the whole bedroom out to here, and this is a big ugly cabinet with the sliding doors. Yeah. So we made a walk-in closet for her.
Certainly looks like a nice job of renovating what was pretty much just a dumpy mobile home when you got it?
Oh yeah, so it's basically new floor, new walls, new ceiling, new outside. What are you doing? Are you doing crack? You crackerhead. That's a belly scratch.
He's in his own little world.
Yeah. Hey, you want a belly scratch? Belly scratch. Yeah. You see, tearing up the wall doing that.
Was this really in pretty bad shape, this, when you got it, originally?
Bad shape?
Bad shape.
There was a few, this is the ceiling looked like. That's the original. We didn't change this. And it's just this ugly, cheap, like stucco or something. And these days, don't ever buy these cabinets. This is what it comes with. They're such a pain. They always get stuck, and you can't open them. So,
Folding plastic doors are pretty bad.
This cheap stuff was on every wall.
Oh, that's that cheap
So this is the
paneling
original.
stuff.
Yeah. Cheap paneling stuff. That's the only thing still original. But once you get this floor down, you come to this little tool and you knock it together. And it slides in, but then you gotta cut each one on a miter saw. It's a lot of work. I recommend it if you have dogs, because the dogs claw on it, they run around, and there's not a scratch on this stuff. Plastic wood composite or something. It really holds up. 4 dogs. That's our office space. That was the living room.
So this was the living room back here? All through there?
So that was, or was it dining room? I forget.
Now it's an office. So tell me about these ponies.
Okay, so with these we rescued. Funny story, my wife wanted pygmy goats, and the lady said, well, I don't have any goats right now, but I have these horses that are in really bad shape. They're skinny, and they don't even exercise, so we took them about a year ago. This is Midnight. Hey, Midnight. And they're old. This one's like 24, which is like 70-something in human years. This one, I think, is 65. So they're tired, but little kids can ride them. We do some therapy when the veterans kids come. We have them ride there. They're pretty mellow because they were in a petting zoo at one time. There you go. Oh, that was my finger. I did it wrong, see?
Oh.
I didn't hold it flat. My hand went up. My fingers went right in his mouth. Luckily, he didn't jump down. So you hold your hand flat like that, and you just licks it right out of your hand. They're pretty good. They're pretty mellow. You gotta walk them every day. And we had a problem. We bought all this alfalfa, and then this one, they were getting what's called founder in their feet. And this one, Harley would just walk really slow, like Eeyore, and he was just moping along. And now he's running again. He takes off. I just put a lead rope on him, and this one follows behind, and walk across the whole desert.
You used to rescue dogs as well, is that correct?
Yeah, we've got 3 dogs now that just showed up on our property, and we've probably rescued 15 over the years. People dump them out in the desert, and the cartels have left pretty much, so they just leave their dogs here, and they never get them fixed. So they have puppies, and they have more puppies, and so it's just. But a lot of people in the city come out, just dump the dogs on right off the highway. I've seen it happen several times. What?
So these dogs are just wandering around and they find you out in the desert?
They find here, there's a sign out front, dogs, free food and water, I think. Because like the last one, Buster, the little one, if you saw in the video, was the... What? Hold on. Here. We were at the house, and he just came walking down this trail. Where did this dog come from? We have 4 now. We had 6 at one point. They come and go. We find homes for them. Some of our veterans will take the puppy.
Now some of these, you know, like the Mexican cartel dogs, that was before cannabis was legalized in California, right?
No, they've gone within the last year or so. The sheriff department and county, whatever, has really started cracking down. But there was pot farms all over, Newberry Springs, Lucerne Valley, El Mirage, and they were all over for one. And the sheriff said it's just too much. Even one of the growers, one of the guys from the pot farms told me that there's no money in it now. I said, yeah, you guys made too many greenhouses. Just lowered the price or whatever.
So these are all illegal grow operations?
Yeah, out here they are, yeah. I mean, there is places you can grow in Adelanto, Victorville, but you have to be in that grow and you got to buy a permit, a license. The legal growers, they didn't want to give the city all that money, so they just set up, and some of them bought the land, but some of them just squatted on the land too. So
Is some of that from the Mexican cartels?
Yeah, Mexican and the Chinese cartels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if I'm dead tomorrow, it's either Mexicans or the Chinese killed me. But they were good people. The workers were good people. I mean, I'm friends with them and everything. And you know, they borrowed tools from me when they were here, and I'd borrow a hand when I needed a refrigerator moved or whatever. They're good people, but you know, the cartels are making millions off of them. And they were, we used to buy, one of the guys that lived out here, we used to buy him clothes because he just, it was cold, and I'd buy him sweaters and bring them. It's like, and the cartels make, you know, $1 billion a month off of them.
Seems like everybody around here has rescued dogs.
The growers, but the people from Victorville, and Christmas they want a puppy, so let's get rid of the old dog and just bring him out in the desert and leave him. Like, drop them off out of the car and take off. Like, what kind of jerk does that? You know, just, you know, they burn in hell. We find them, you know, we give them water and food and try and get them over here. I built a whole kennel over there next to the container just because we were getting dogs so often that I didn't want them near our dogs. You don't know if they got parvo or fleas or whatever, you know, so I built a dog kennel, a run, that we can keep them a little separated. And, you know, but some of them are, you know, aggressive to the other dogs too until they get used to the pack or whatever.
Well, I'm glad, you know, people out here are rescuing these dogs.
Yeah.
And giving them a good life, hopefully.
Dogs and just dogs and cats.
What?
And these two guys right here. Along with Ponies come chores.
This is fresh too.
Fresh shoveling.
Still moist. Oops, watch out, buddy.
And you said, what was the black one?
Black one's Midnight.
No, what type of pony?
Oh, this is a Shetland pony.
And then the other one?
That's a quarter pony.
Okay.
So it's a quarter. I'm not sure if it's a quarter pony and a quarter, 3/4 horse, or it's the other way around.
That's a zebra tail lizard?
Yeah. Yesterday I saw the first horny toad. The big little fat and squat, and haven't seen one of those in a year.
What do we have going on here, Ken?
Okay, so this is a nonprofit we run called Operation Dirt Bike Freedom. If you're a veteran or military, police officer, fireman, over here we have a gun range. There's a rifle range and a pistol range over here. The Marines will ask me, what can I shoot out there legally? I said, you can shoot whatever you want because it's my land. So bring what you want. What we do out there is shoot cans. You know, we got targets, but we save all the cans for groceries. We shoot at those. I got a 22 BB gun, shoot those. I don't supply any of the guns or ammo, so you bring what you got, not buying your ammo. So we do this for veterans with PTSD or depression or just bored. If we don't ask any questions of what your problem is, we don't care. We just thank you for your service. We take them out for the day, dirt biking out here in the desert, just blast through the freaking dirt roads and have a good time, have a barbecue afterwards. Or some of the older guys like me, they just like to shoot. So they just come out today and shoot, and do some barbecue, have some Gatorades later. My only rules are don't shoot my trees or my water tanks, and no goofing around on the gun range. And of course, all the regular firearm safety, you know, act like it's loaded, keep your finger off the trigger, all that stuff. But this is a little memorial we did for my Uncle Leo. Was in World War II, and he was shot down. He was a pilot. We have a little connection there. That's a little memorial. So people come out and they'll do like, this is Mark Duncan. That's a friend of ours. He died in the U.S. Air Force. They have their names on the on a rock. We either give them a rock or we just got some tiles now. So you'll see there's my uncle Leo Thomas Colburn. So that's our neighbor does these cool little rocks, so she did that one for her. I gotta find some good paint because some of the paint, the names are already, this sun just kills everything out here. So I made this little thing. Somebody gave me an old rifle, and I got this old helmet and some boots at a thrift store. I put them all in cement. So some people, you know, lost a loved one to come out here. This is Deborah's bench from her backyard. We put this out here. They want to come out here, say a minute, say thanks, whatever.
And you call this ODF?
Yeah, it's ODF, Operation Dirt Bike Freedom. We have a Facebook page. We don't have a website, but Facebook page, Operation Dirt Bike Freedom. And we're always looking for new veterans, military, come out here. It doesn't cost anything. And we're out here in the Mojave Desert north of Victorville. And if you're local, we've had guys coming from Camp Pendleton, Marine Corps Base, 29 Palms, San Diego area, Lancaster. We're always looking for new veterans. Somebody, you know, we could have one guy, you could have 5, 6 guys who want to get together and come out and spend the day just blast around on some dirt bikes. If you don't know how to ride, I'll show you how to ride. Just start trying a little bike. We also have people bring their kids. I got a little quad you can ride.
So you'll supply the quads and the dirt bikes for
Yeah.
visitors?
Yeah, and they have to wear the gear. So I got all the gear, helmets and everything, you know. Because we had one Marine come out here and it was hot as heck. But I come around the corner, his shirt off, just a helmet and his pants. Like, dude, if you fall, you're gonna get so scraped. Oh, cool, I'm cool. You know, he's a Marine. You know, you can't tell him anything. Yeah, we always have a good time. We've had people come out, you know, 2 or 3 times after that, and but we're always looking for new people. So, Operation Dirt Bike Freedom, spread the word.
All right, so if any of you guys want to come out, just feel free and you meet Ken and have a good old time.
Yeah, look at our page. You get my info off of there and just text me or whatever. We'll set a date. Anytime, could be weekends. It could even be during the week now.
Come on in to my greenhouse.
All right, let's check it out. So what do we have going on in here?
So this is, don't trip on the water. This is where I grow my vegetables. We are in the midst of redoing the whole top. We have a lot of wind here and just the sun just beats the heck out of it. So we're gonna have to redo that. So I'm kind of waiting to plant after we do that because things are gonna get stepped on. But originally we put in all of these water totes. Those are all full of water. And the idea was it was gonna hold the heat in the wintertime to keep this warm in here. But we put the plastic on first and it was like 120 in here. So we're going, okay, that's not gonna work. So we got rid of the plastic. So I don't really grow much in here in the wintertime. It's more of a summertime thing with just the shade cloth. So we have all these totes with not doing anything. I have my blueberries and I usually do, that's my herbs. I do the tomatoes and the peppers and that kind of thing. I have potatoes coming up in these pots. And I had cauliflower over there, onions over here, waiting to go crazy. I had my first, this is like the 3rd year of the greenhouse, so I had my first asparagus last night from my asparagus.
Oh, nice.
So that was fun.
That tastes really good when it's fresh.
Yeah, I was surprised how tender, but this is the other, oh, I have another one coming up there. When we were figuring out how to build all this, since I'm getting older, I told Ken, I don't want to be bending over all the time. We need to have raised beds. So he made all these beds for me, all the raised beds. But then I also needed something low, but we have a lot of critters in here that eat things. So he made these, and then we put the hardware cloth over the tops of those. That keeps, we have mice and rats and chipmunks and kangaroo rats, and try to keep them out of here. It's not easy though. But now we can go into my fruit tree. This is the greenhouse. This is the tree house.
Okay, got a whole lot of fruit trees in here, huh?
Yeah, so this is the 3rd year, so we're getting a lot of, look, there's a lizard in my cherry tree.
A lizard in the cherry tree. There he is, right there.
A little stinker.
He's hanging out. Let's see if we can get a shot of him over this way. Oh, he's just chilling. Yeah, he's just hanging out there. So that's the cherry tree. It's got some blossoms on there.
Yeah.
So
I've got 2 cherries, I got a persimmon, pear, 2 peaches, 2 plums, an apricot, and 2 apples. And this year it looks like we're going to be getting a lot more fruit. So, which it should, because it's like the 3rd year. So they should be getting more fruit. So that's exciting. And we just redid this. This also had the same shade cloth on it, but it was all torn apart. So we came up with the idea of maybe putting hardware cloth and we won't have to replace it like we did the shade cloth.
Right.
To keep the birds out. So.
Have you been pretty successful with vegetable growing? Have you had much luck getting some produce out of that every year?
Yeah, we do, but again, we're fighting with the critters on it.
Growing in the desert is hard, right?
It is. You really have to keep up with the water. We have a 2,500 gallon water tank that really just feeds this. I don't know if you can see it over there next to the truck. That really is all just for the greenhouse and the tree house. On the raised beds, Ken has put metal up the sides thinking they wouldn't be able to climb up that, but they still get up there. Not quite sure what to do. So I don't really, we have that other, I don't know if you can see the orange and the white. That's the thing where there's a roller in there and they go in and they're supposed to roll on it and fall in the water. We've caught a couple that way, but not as many as I'd like. And because of the dogs are in here all the time with me, I don't want to put poison out. And if they kill one afterward, I don't want to deal with them eating a poisoned critter.
Probably need to get some gopher snakes around here.
I have gopher snakes in here. I don't think I had a rattlesnake in here, but I've had several gopher snakes. People have said put cats in here too, but then I don't know if the dogs and the cats would get along. And I don't want to keep the dogs out because they like to be where I am. Yeah, it's just hard.
You just do what you can out here.
It's not so much the heat, I don't think, where it makes it hard to grow. It's the critters. That's more my problem than the heat or the cold.
So your biggest critter fight is fighting for the tomatoes, huh?
Yeah.
They definitely want those tomatoes.
They do. They love the tomatoes. They like the little watermelons too. I came in one day and it was ready to pick, and I come back the next day, totally gone.
Well, I'm sure that was a juicy, tasty treat out here in the desert for them.
Yeah, you can't wait. If it's almost ready, grab it, or it'll be gone.
We're in the greenhouse today, and got a lot of tarp, a lot of netting to stretch over the top of the greenhouse.
Okay, this corner is one that I think John wants.
You're just tearing it more, Ken. Just hold your horses.
Hold on, John. Yeah. Just let her get it with a pole here on this corner. You got to feed it through that way. On the other side of the pipe, not that one, this one. The cross pipe. You got to go under.
Well, it's twisted the wrong way.
Let him get a hold of it there, down there. Good deal.
Well, that's Joe over there to the left.
How's it going? If I take this corner and toss it over to John, and then he keeps feeding it over that way, then you could take it down that side right there. Oh no!
So you can see how Ken is threading that over. He's got that tennis ball on the end of the pole. Doesn't harm the netting.
Feed the corner over, Ken, instead of over there. That corner's got to go over there,
It's coming along slowly but surely. Almost done with this section, but there'll be more later. Here's the finished product. The greenhouse is now completely tarped.
This is our cantina after we do some dirt biking or shooting. We have some barbecue here, and we have some beers, sometimes some Gatorades mostly. But so it's in here because there's shade in here. And we had some nice wooden tables that were carved with all the Marines, platoons, and the Army squads and all. Everybody carved their platoon in here, and they burned up. So we had to get a plastic one. We had some cool medallions. Every group has got their patch and insignia and stuff. But anyway, so we got new here.
So there was a fire here then.
It works.
Yeah, we had
Water.
a fire. We had a fire pit out here, and the fire didn't get put out all the way. So I was working in the house, and I looked and I go, boy, he's having a big fire. And then I saw him running from the garage, and I went, oh God, it's a fire.
Yeah, so that's why it looks like that. That's what it looked like. And I got tired of looking at it, so I started painting it. It looked like that brown when it's behind the door. It looked black. But that was such a pain to paint, so gave up on that one up to here. I thought, well, it looks kind of retro.
We tried putting it out ourselves, and they got to the point I go, I'm calling fire department. So I called and I said, the address is not going to get you to us. Do not go to the address. You know, I said, go up the main road and you'll see the smoke. And okay, 20 minutes later, there's nobody here yet. Called again, did the same thing. And finally they show up. Well, they went to the address that it sends them to. So by that time, it was already out.
And then they put it out, and we were sitting there at lunch, I think it was the next day, and there's smoke billowing out of the top of this one. This one caught on fire again. And photographs from high school, way back in my baseball card collection, comic books, map collection, and it started up again. Even though the guys, I saw them sitting there with the fire hose just pouring water in there, and it started back up. You don't mess with fire, man. It's just, I don't turn your back on it. You don't play with
Like the fire didn't get in there to begin with.
No.
It just got so hot that stuff started combusting.
Christmas stuff just started on fire. The fire chief said it's called radiant heat. When it's so hot over here, it starts a fire on the other side of the wall, called radiant heat. It doesn't have to be touching it. Because I thought, well, these are windproof, they're fireproof, waterproof, no, theft-proof. No, you could steal. I mean, they could break into them, obviously. But I never thought about a fire. I was more concerned about stuff getting stolen or stuff in there getting wet because through the holes in the top. Life goes on. So we rebuilt and back in business. We got our collection of more. Here's a cool. This is one of our desert friends.
I got a desert tortoise shell.
Yeah. It's one of our, I think Bear gave me that one actually. One of the guys. This is a mouse skeleton still intact. I found next to a mouse trap. Poor guy died and fossilized there in the heat. We got a phone system now. If you want to call your house. Doesn't go anywhere. Had a cool payphone, fake payphone there on the wall that melted. Had a bunch of cool stuff in here. But water under the bridge.
Sorry to hear the fire.
That's one of my inventions, the
happened.
cabinator. I made this. We got like really stubborn tartar, or your kids don't want to brush. You just take this, you know, plug it in, get rid of that tartar, get the smile back.
Yeah, say goodbye to gingivitis, huh?
Yeah, say goodbye.
See ya, Ginger. Wasn't that your old girlfriend, Ginger?
Gingivitis.
Gingivitis.
Yeah. Mary Ann was her sister. That's about it, I think.
Okay.
Should have said the bees. I opened this one night. We had bees. But I got pictures of the honey, 3 honeycombs in there. This tall and about this big across. It's just hanging from this thing. And we had to call a guy. It cost me $350 to get these. Because I had Marines coming that weekend, the whole family. I can't have these bees flying around. And we're trying to barbecue and everything. And they were inside that thing.
Well, did they at least give you the honey?
Yeah, we got the honey from them.
Yeah.
I was putting it in my coffee. It was, you know, all natural, sweet. You only needed like that much to put in your coffee, and it was good. But it wasn't worth $350.
That's some very expensive honey.
Yeah. And he took some of it. I think we gave some to neighbors.
Yeah,
but,
some honeycomb we still have.
So this is our. I think my niece had this one made. That's the nonprofit. So Operation Dirt Bike Freedom. Look us up on Facebook. We're always looking for more veterans, military, sheriff, correctional officers,
First responders of any
first
type.
responders, circus clowns, high school teachers. Whoever's in service will take you out dirt biking.
We have one group that comes up from San Diego. They usually come once a year and they stay for the whole weekend. And they bring their tents and they pitch their tents out here. And then they're cooking breakfast and lunch in here and they're telling, come on over for breakfast. So.
She's Polish and her husband is Mexican, but in the morning she makes this Spam, rice, eggs, and chorizo. It is so good. So she's like me, and Magna is the only one that likes Spam. She hates it, but I got a ton of it packed away for emergencies. But I like it once in a while. So, but she makes it in a breakfast dish, and it's so good. Coffee. It's too bad my wife doesn't like Spam and eggs, because I'm looking for a woman that likes Spam. You know any?
There's your dating profile headline. Looking for a woman who likes Spam.
We lived in the motorhome for a year and a half. The before the house was done. That was fun with 3 dogs, big dogs.
I told him we had 4, but okay.
Oh,
We had 4 for a while.
we did.
We had 6.
Yeah.
2 people and 4 dogs in a motorhome.
Well, for a
In
year
that
and a half.
motorhome right over there. Let's check out this flag here.
It worked.
There you go.
I told you it would work until it got windy.
Yeah.
So after we're done riding, I make sure everybody stands in front of the flag and get a picture for my Facebook page.
Cool.
So, we're going to auction off the first 100 veterans that come. We're going to auction off this motorcycle for free. I have the key and the title for it.
Yeah. How old is?
Wants a project.
What year is
Like
this?
83, I think.
Well, it hasn't been registered since 2015.
Yeah, so that might be a problem. But it was a friend of mine. I got running for her. She was going to give it to her son. Her son started using drugs, so she said, "You're not getting the bike." So she kept it for 3 years at her house. She moved, gave it to me, who donated it. I gave it to a friend of mine for him and his son to work on as a project. The kid went to college and they never worked on it, so he just brought it back a few months ago. So I got the bike back.
What's this story about a ring tree, Deborah?
Well, before we were married, Ken purchased a ring for me, and we came up on
$47,000.
on a Friday night, and unbeknownst to me, he put it under the tree. So usually in the next morning I would go out and water all the trees, and I couldn't. I was working from home, so I was in the motorhome working, and Ken kept saying, "Aren't you going to go water the trees? Aren't you going to water the trees?" And I go, "I have to work. I'll water them tonight." I went out that night and watered the trees, and Ken's all, didn't you find anything under the tree? Wasn't there anything under there? I'm going, "No, there's nothing there." He goes, "You're sure? There was nothing under the tree?" "No, nothing under the tree." He goes, "I put a ring under the tree." I go, "There's no ring." So we have never found the ring, but we had many metal detectors trying to find it, and we actually think maybe a crow took it and hasn't replaced it with anything else.
I hope they're happily married.
It was an engagement ring, yeah.
$47,000 ring from Walmart.
From
The
Walmart.
$47,000 Walmart
expensive.
ring.
We'll just say 47,000 because you're never going to know for sure.
He did have a picture of it,
It
so I
was
did
nice.
see it, but I never did get to wear it. But when I'm working outside, I always look around, because you never know. It might be there.
Something shiny.
Something shiny. Something got lost out in the desert, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some crow out there wearing that ring right now.
Yeah.
Like a tortoise.
We have
Maybe a tortoise.
a tortoise.
You know, I'll keep an eye out for desert tortoises wearing engagement rings.
Maybe they're Heckle and Jekyll, those 2 crows.
Heckle
Maybe
and
they're
Jekyll.
married now, and that's why we always see them together.
Maybe.
Maybe they were just
Yeah.
waiting for the right ring
Yeah.
and came along.
Yeah. And then she made me buy another one. Fussy women are. They knew my story about putting one. I wouldn't have believed it either. There's nobody out here, so I figure, well, it's safe. There's no tweakers or crackerheads going to come out here and steal the ring. So it'll be out here all night. Nobody's going to bother. I think we had 1 dog at the time. It was in the RV, so I think that's safe, just sitting here. I think it was in the dirt in the park. I thought, well, it'd be safe. I never even think of a bird or a squirrel stealing it, you know.
Oh well,
It's life in the big desert.
that's how it goes. Out in the Mojave.
Live and learn. So don't ever get married, kids. That's my moral of my story. A half-inch of rain we got a few weeks ago filled up a 275-gallon tote, which is one of those big IBC cube totes.
Two
that
of
are in
them,
the
didn't it?
cages. Huh?
Front and back?
Well, the back one was full and the front one wasn't all the way full. So this is a basic, what you have in your house, in a house, the same gutter system you get at Home Depot and all the things. And then you just put it in here. And a lot of people filter it or have a leaf collection if you have trees. Obviously there's no leaves falling in these gutters. And then you put a spout on it, also from Home Depot or whatever. Put a spout on it and you can get, so this is about half full. And I've drained some already. It's just on a little bit of rain we got the other day. Normally you have it on, I had 2 totes, but that one burned up. It just comes down here and you seal it all up. We don't waste water out here. And I'll show you what we do at the house in a minute.
So this water is used for the trees.
Yeah, just for trees. I mean, you could probably drink it. I wouldn't drink it because you don't know what was in this tote, in this drum. We just use it for the trees and the plants. Drinking water we actually buy, have it trucked in. And that's all filtered again even after we bring it to the house.
Okay, so if you get a half-inch of rain, it'll pretty much fill this thing up right here.
Yeah, I think a half-inch would, quarter inch would do it.
So 55 gallons. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole formula, like, I forget what it was, but you could look online, and it's something like the square footage of your house times 60 equals how many gallons you'll get in inches or something like that.
All right, well, we'll check out the house now
Right.
and check out that water setup.
Okay.
So do you haul water, or how do you do it here?
Yeah, so we got a 5,000 gallon tank. We buy the water every couple months, and they come out and fill that up with the truck from town. We use water very sparingly. In the city, when you got unlimited water, you let it run while you shave, brush your teeth, whatever, shower. So we also have to use special, well, I'll tell you what. So the sinks, instead of just wasting the water going out to the septic or going into the sewers like you're in the city, we reuse all the water. So I plumbed all the sinks, the bathtub, the shower, and the sink in there. The other sink, 3 sinks, it goes in a PVC pipe under the house over to, each go to a tree. So, like this sink goes to this pepper tree. As you see, it's doing pretty good. Actually doing so much water, I had to tee it off over there, and it goes over to the ground. And then we put those, I made those rose planters, and she put roses in there, and the water goes to help the water the roses. So you'll see where it comes out there in the ground, that's just for that tree, and I can regulate that. If it's getting too much or too little, I can open that valve more or less and then open it. Now this tree, this comes off into the middle, the bathroom, and the sink goes into that tree. And the toilets go into the septic. Obviously you don't want to use that. But that other tree over there, which is a olive tree, that goes into the main bathroom and sink. So we reuse all the water. There's 2 pipes coming over there because it's a bathroom, sink, and shower, and also the bathtub, which I hardly ever use. So we had to have more water coming in, trying to equal it out. So we reuse everything out here. Any wood, it's all about water and batteries out here. You either got to keep your batteries up, you got to maintain your water, collect water, reuse water. We got rain gutters. You can see, I don't know if you can zoom in on the rain gutters, the whole house. So we get a half-inch of water that'll fill up that 275 gallon tote over there. And there's one on the other side too. So you figure out, I figured like 2,000 square foot on the house. So you split that in half. And we had a good rain, not this winter, but last winter. Actually had in the middle of the rain, I had to drain those into other things. So I'm scrounging around looking for some, because they were overflowing, or they would have, because it was still raining, and I want to waste all the water. So I had to get all these buckets, everything that would hold water, and then we drained it down about half, and then the rain filled it back up again. So this winter we didn't get that much rain, so it's kind of dry. Usually it'd be nice and green, this whole thing. There's hardly any green over there.
So you do have a septic system.
Yeah, so that big, we have septic underground. That big tank over there on the left, that's our 5,000 gallon fresh water. The one on the right is 2,500. That's just for fire prevention. I hook up my fire truck to. It also right now is plumbed over for the horses, just to give them some drinking water, and refill that up. Both of those need to be refilled probably this week. So they come about every 2 months, and they come out, fill those up. So that's really the biggest utility, and buy propane every so often. No electric bill, no water bill except for that, and the gas bill is our propane. What's the other one? Our sewer, there's no sewer bill. And the trash, we recycle almost everything, burn the paper, and my Marines or Army guys that come, anybody that comes shooting, if they have a pickup truck, they got to take a bag of trash. That's how we get rid of our trash. So they come, because they all live in houses, apartments, and they throw a bag of trash or two. One guy took a whole truck full. My dumpster was full, so they took, and that's how we get rid of our trash. We can't burn or recycle. The other stuff we throw away is like plastic. Everything comes in plastic. You can't recycle or burn that. That's our water situation. We collect it, we move it around. I got 2 water trailers that I transfer water with. Sometimes I have to take water, like this week I'm going to have to take water out of that tank, put it in my trailer, then pump it into these that are way off the property. They're not connected to anything. Got the driveway, I got 2 of them for all the pine trees. If you don't plant any trees or have a garden or a greenhouse, you wouldn't use that much water. But I mean, you didn't have animals. The horses take a lot of water in the summer. They just drink 5 gallons a couple days, times a day. Seems like they're filling that up. If you don't have a ton of trees, my wife loves the trees and the plants, we wouldn't use half the water we use now. But it's all good because everything takes water. And those, interesting, those are our Christmas trees for each year. That was our first year Christmas tree, and the one next to it, I don't know if you can see it, they're smaller and smaller. Every year we buy a live tree and then we plant it out here, and it becomes our evergreen tree.
So this is where you move the fire pit from over there to here.
Yeah.
So it's nice and far away.
It's the grass over there. That was the old fire pit, and it was nice because it was in the fence and it was away from the wind. But
Did he tell you about the fire truck? Ken put a fire truck together after our fire, so now we'll show you the fire truck, but we're now mobile. We can put out any fire.
Oh, okay, good.
Pot farms, some tweakers caught on fire, and then when I saw the smoke, I thought it was my neighbor's place. I went over there, and it turns out it's just a pile of trash, and tires were catching on fire, so I took a fire truck and wasted 250 gallons of water putting the fire out so it didn't spread. So we had a fire here, and the fire department couldn't get here in time, so I built my own fire truck. This holds 275 gallons of fresh water, and you guys got your axe and everything. There's 300 feet of fire hose, 2-inch fire hose. So I can pull up to a fire, open the valve on the tank, hook up the fire hose, and I got a fire hose nozzle that shoots out like crazy. And when that tank's empty, I hook up this line. I got a hose over there to that tank with a ladder on it. That's 2,500 gallons of water just to keep for fire protection. That hooks up to there. And then, for some reason, this tank, this pump didn't work because it's from Harbor Freight, but it works great. Just kidding, Harbor Freight. These are great little pumps. It's a little Predator water pump, like 170 bucks. And it's a 2-inch connector, really pumps out good. We have another one on another piece of property. Anyway, if this one wouldn't start or was out of gas for some reason, under here I got a 12-volt pump as a backup that goes into garden hose. And that goes into 300 feet of garden hose over here. I can pull off this reel and hook up, turn that hose on. That runs off the truck, and so this runs off the gas. But if I can't put it out with this, and the tank goes empty, then I got to back up to that tank, fill it up real quick, and then go out to. I already put out 2 fires out here in the desert with the fire truck. Did some crackerheads started trash on fire, and I even got little fire hats for the kids because they put their grandkids out. They actually saw the fire and called me. So we went out there, and I got a picture of them holding the hose. They were putting the fire out, and this bunch of trash somebody started. And this is our solar over here. So this is where it starts. The good Lord gives us the sun. They hit these panels and they make electricity. It's amazing. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
That's amazing. You get this for free? That's amazing. So it comes out and it goes into a combiner box over here. Probably can't see, but anyway, it combines all the 10 panels into 2 wires. 2 wires go underground over here. Anybody's a solar expert, don't make fun of my solar thing, or I'll have to delete you or unfriend you or whatever. Anyway, it comes over into here, we're out of the wind. So all the panels go into this. This is the inverter. It's a Midnight Classic. Right now we're coming in 1120, 1150 watts right now. And you can see how much you're using. You're using 875 watts, and the mini split is running right now. Gotta turn the light on. So we're using 800 something watts, 900 watts, and we're bringing in 1150 or so. So it comes in here, and then this charges the batteries. If you got just solar coming in, it charges the batteries up to 100%, so you can use it at night, because around here the sun goes out at night. So it comes in here, this keeps the batteries charged up. And we also, if you hear, I don't know if it was on the video, we have a wind turbine that generates electricity. Right now, putting out 80 watts, 120 watts, 73 watts, 180 watts, 170 watts, 3 amps or so. Of course, the more wind, the more power you get. Now, if you had at night, like I said, there's no sun, usually you have the wind charges the batteries. It just kind of trickles the charges the batteries, so the next day they're already charged up. Most people just have the solar, but then at night you got nothing coming in. This will be down to 0. So it comes in here, charge the batteries, then everything comes into this big box here. It's got all kinds of wires and circuit breakers and everything. That distributes everything. So you got 48 volts coming in off these 2 wires here, going in here, and that inverter that changes the 48 volts to 120 that you can use in your house. So the 120 volts comes back into here through breakers and everything. Then those 3 wires go into the house. That's basically the turbine wires, and a lot of people have a change into another inverter, but you can just wire it right to the battery. And it'll just charge the batteries all night. Now if the batteries are full, the turbine is smart enough, it'll shut down. There's a break in there. So if it's too windy, like over like 70 miles an hour, it'll shut down so it just doesn't fly apart. Also, if the batteries are full, they don't need it, so it shuts it down. That way it saves the bearing and all the wear and tear on the turbine. That's a pretty good feature. The cheaper, the older ones were noisy as hell, and they weren't reliable. And everybody, if you look on solar pages, they'll say, oh, wind is a waste of money, wind power, just buy more panels. Well, at night, you can have 1,000 panels, you're not going to generate anything at night. It's better to have both. If you got hydropower, that's even worse. Better, but you don't have that. There's no water out there. It's like several days of no sun and no wind, and you don't have a lot of batteries. Like I only have these 4 old batteries right now. Then I have to plug it into my fire truck, which has a 220 volt generator on it, and you run that about an hour, charge the batteries back up, you're good to go. At least you run your lights and everything. You wouldn't want to run the microwave and air conditioning and all that stuff while this was off, but it's a backup for the backup.
Some people take their dogs for a walk, and some people take their ponies for a walk.
Watch this trick. Whoa! Can't see out of this eye, so you got. You got a brush around.
This is a little doggy pool that they made so the dogs can lounge and cool off in the summer.
Okay, here's another desert survival trick. If you buy these, you should buy these. This is a great, I'm not sure what brand it is, but make sure you get the wide mouth. You fill these up with ice cubes, fill the rest up with water. Man, this is cold all day, and you got to drink water out here in the desert. But if you don't have one of those, or even if you do, fill this up with water. You got about a half full of water. Put it in the freezer. Put all these half filled or even 3/4 fills of water. Put them under your freezer and just let them sit. Take them out, you frozen. You pour water in these. You let that sit. Oh my God, that's like drinking Norway. It's so cold, that water. A little tip for Uncle Ken. Signing out. Bye.
Oh, hey, here's my ride.
Your lemon's ready, sir.
Thank you.
Where to, sir?
Home, James. I'm back home again. I hope you enjoyed seeing this renovated off-grid mobile home and the gardens and all the rest. Don't forget to give me a like in the video, share, and subscribe. Till next time, this is the Rock Hopper.
I'll see ya!